Hey guys, welcome again to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Scholastica. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Don't be a visitor, join the family. Hit the subscribe button below and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop more videos. And thank you so much to all my returning subscribers. I love you guys. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing all the tips and tricks, everything I picked up along the way while I was preparing for my IELTS and how I got my high score. So make sure you watch this video to the end. One thing you should know, guys, the IELTS exam in total takes 1 hour 45 minutes. 30 minutes for listening, reading is 1 hour, writing is 1 hour, and speaking is 15 minutes. So for your IELTS listening, what you should do is pay close attention to the recording. The recording is only going to be played once. So you want to make sure that you are listening very well. Open your ears as if your life depends on it. So one thing that helped me is listening to IELTS audio, like the listening audio. I downloaded them on my phone. So when I'm in transit, when I'm walking, when I'm doing anything, I just plug my earpiece and listen to it. So that's helped me to know the accent, get used to the accent and things like that. And another thing, guys, watch movies without subtitles. During the listening exam, what you should do is write your answers directly on the answer sheet. So in the questions, they will say that you can write your answers on the question paper and then you have time to transfer it to the answer sheet. Don't do that. That is a waste of time, okay? Write your answers directly on the answer sheet, because usually after you are done with one session, they are going to tell you that now you have like maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes to transfer your answers from this. Is it up to 5 minutes? I'm not even sure. Let's say so you have this particular time to transfer your answers from your question paper to your answer sheet. Now if you had written your answers directly on your answer sheet, you won't have to do that. What you should use this time for is look at the next 2-3 questions and read it. Just try to understand the questions before the recording starts. That way, when the recording starts, you already have the questions at the back of your head, so you know what you are looking for. Do not stress over anything. If you miss a word, just ignore it and move to the next one. The recording goes very fast. You don't have time to be drooling, to be thinking about one particular answer. If you miss it, you miss it. It's better for you to miss one than for you to continue missing, because by the time you spend all your time waiting and thinking, what was the answer? Was it this? Was it that? By the time you come back to your senses, you find out that you've missed like 5 questions. Now just imagine that if you miss 5 questions, what will your band score be? Remember that you need to score at least 30 to 32 to get 7, to get your band 7 that you are looking for. So you really don't have time to start wasting to start thinking of the answers that you missed. Move on. It's not the end of the world. Write your answers in capital letters directly on your answer sheet. That is going to help a lot. Now let's move to the reading. So for reading, you have 1 hour to read 3 long comprehensive passages and you have to answer 40 questions in that 1 hour. During your practice, what you should do, in fact, this is like my golden rule. This is my golden tip. If you are my friend that I know that you are preparing for IELTS and I have not told you that, I've not told you this tip, you are not really very close to me. So since you are my family, I'm going to share the tip with you, okay? And that is, when you are practicing for your reading, limit yourself to 1 minute to 1 question. What that means is that set your timer in 1 minute. Now read the question, understand the question, look for the answer in the passage. Do all that within 1 minute. Once the timer goes and you've not seen the answer, move on to the next question. If you keep on like that, you are going to limit yourself to answering those 40 questions in 40 minutes. Now, when you try it the first time, you might be discouraged because you find out that you are not finding the answer, but don't worry, it's normal. As time goes on, it will help you to pick up your pace and you'll be able to find the answer in seconds. Now, why I scored 6.5 in my first attempt for reading was because I was trying to make sure that the answer that I'm writing down is the correct answer. So I spent too much time reading the passage, and then even after finding the answer and writing the answer, I go back to the passage again to see whether it's true, that I don't have any doubt at all that this is the answer. Now that took a lot of time. That is something you should not do at all. Do not waste your time to read the passage. What you need to do in IELTS reading is understand the question, go to the passage, and look for the answer in the passage. Don't waste your time to read the passage. Skim and scan. If you practice with the 1 minute rule, you are going to get very used to it, that in the exam hall, at the end of the time, you will still, by the time you answer your 40 questions, you will still have like 10 or 15 minutes to go back to the passage and make sure that you have all the correct answers. That is what helped me to get 8.5 in reading. Another thing, guys, is that you should take note of keywords, right? So the reading, it's actually, the answers are paraphrased, okay? So you might not actually be looking for, like, let's say you are looking for a particular keyword that is in the question. You are not going to find that particular keyword in the passage. Instead, they are going to paraphrase it. It's going to mean the same thing, but it will be written in a different manner. So that is something you should take note of. Another thing you should take note of is that the answers come sequentially. So the answer to number 1 question might be in the first paragraph, or the first sentence rather, and then the answer to the second question will be in the second sentence, the answer to the third question in the third sentence. Now it doesn't always go like that. There are some, especially during the last passage, that it's scattered somehow. So the more you advance, the more you move from passage 1, passage 2, passage 3, the more difficult it becomes. So what you should do is try to answer the passage 1 and passage 2 very fast, so that you can spend more time in passage 3 to actually look for the answers. Remember, don't waste your time to read the passage. Just skim and scan. Not scam, please. Just skim and scan. Just skim and scan and transfer the answers to your answer sheet. Let's go to speaking. Speaking was like the one I thought I was going to have problems with, because I'm kind of an introvert, right? So I have most of my conversations in my head. So I'm not that outspoken. I won't really say something unless I really want to talk. I was so scared of speaking. I was like, what if they ask me a question and I don't know what to say? Like, how can I? See, the speaking has 3 parts. The first part is the introduction. That is the one that you just tell me about yourself, just normal, small questions like that. And then the part 2 is the real deal. The part 2 is when you have to talk for 2 minutes. So they are going to give you a topic, give you 1 minute to prepare, and then they want you to speak on that topic for 2 minutes. Now, in those 2 minutes, the examiner is looking at your fluency, your grammar, everything that they are looking for in that 2 minutes. Now, the part 3, they are going to ask you different questions based on the question that was given to you in your part 2. So I was so scared of part 2 speaking. Now, something that made it easier for me is that when I was going for my speaking, I took it as if I was going out on a date. Yeah, seriously. I was like, I am going out on a date. My examiner is somebody that I want to get to know me better. Okay, so I'm not going to be too tensed up. I'm not going to let the pressure get to me. When you are going for your speaking, dress comfortably, dress professionally. Appearance does not really count to your scores, but you don't want to come off as someone that doesn't really take the exam serious. Speaking is subjective, so try to be on the good side of your examiner. What I did, guys, when I entered the hall, I was like, hi, you look familiar. It looks like I've seen you somewhere. Do you attend Winners Chapel? No. Have you been to so-so hospital? No. Do you live in so-so place? No. I was like, oh, but you look really, really familiar. He was like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we've met somewhere before. I was like, okay. So I sat down, and I was like, oh, your shirt is very nice. And then we laughed. That laughter just like, it took away some part of the tension. So trust me guys, he was not familiar in any way, and his shirt was just a very plain shirt. There was nothing so likable about the shirt, but I just said that to like put myself at ease. So guys, if you want to throw compliments at your examiner, throw it at your examiner. It's going to help you to bring down the tension. So guys, the part 2 of the speaking, that is the one that they tell you to talk for 2 minutes. You know, that talking for 2 minutes is like so difficult. The first time I was like, how do you expect somebody to just keep on talking for 2 minutes non-stop? Like seriously, it's so difficult. So something that helped me was I used J from E2 language to develop my speaking skills. Okay, so I don't even pay much attention to using big grammar. All I do is just talk fluently. Like if I'm having a conversation with a friend and I score high, I get 8.0, 8.5 in speaking using that trick. So in the part 2 speaking, they are going to give you a topic to speak for 2 minutes, and you have 1 minute to prepare. Now what you should be writing in that 1 minute is split your topic into 3 parts, right? Tell a story using the past, present, and the future. So when you do that, there is no way that you will finish saying the story of your past, the present, and the future, and your 2 minutes will not be up. Yes, that is one thing that I did. In fact, that trick helped me so much. Go to E2 language, search for J speaking on how to tell a story, and you will see what I'm talking about. Okay, so do that. So for writing, you guys know that writing was my weakest point. I don't really have a lot of tips and tricks for writing, but what I would say is that practice. Get yourself a colleague, somebody that has passed it. You know that this person is really good. Let that person mark your script. Take note of the correction. Read comprehensions. Read passages. You need to develop your vocabulary. Oh goodness me! To think I got 8.5 in speaking. You need to develop your vocabulary. Okay, so what you want to do, don't pay attention to those people that will say cram these words, cram this sentence, you must put these words in your writing for you to get this score. The bottom line is, don't write jargons. Don't use a word unless you actually understand the meaning of the word and how you should use it, because if you use a word in a wrong context, you are going to be marked down. So it's better for you to use a simple word that you know the meaning, that you know how it fits into a sentence, than for you to start writing all those big words, big grammar. Me, I made that mistake. I went to Baron textbook and I crammed. You see, I had a notebook of big grammar that I don't even know the meaning self. I'll write the word, write the meaning, and that is it. In fact, probably that's why I kept having 6.5 in writing. I know better now. That's what I'm telling you. Don't do that, okay? Just develop your vocabulary. Another thing you should do, guys, is read broad topics. So there are materials that have summaries of different topics. So read the summary of those topics. What that is going to help you do is that during the read test, you are not going to take time to start thinking of ideas for you to start writing. So when you have an idea, when you have you have a web base of ideas from different topics in your head, no matter what your topic is, all you have to do is just pick the idea and expand on it, and that is how you do your writing. Now, writing, there are different ways. Each writing question has different structures and different formats for you to answer the question. So I'm going to advise you to use YouTube videos, use Ielts Body, Ielts Advantage, Ielts Liz, J from E2 language. You know, there are a lot of materials available. The Ielts, it's difficult. Yes, nobody is arguing that Ielts is difficult. There are few people that have scored, that have gotten the required score with the first attempt. In fact, when I see those people, I'm like, kudos, I envy you. But for the rest of us that have to write it like 2-3 times, don't discourage yourself. In fact, what I actually tell people is that doing it the first time is just like going to have the experience of what the IELTS is all about. So if you don't get it with your first attempt, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Cry if you want to cry, do anything you want to do, but after you've cried, pick yourself up, prepare for the test, write it again, and you will pass it. You will only fail if you give up. Okay, you will only fail if you give up. Think of why you are actually writing the IELTS. Think of what you can achieve, and you will have the strength to go on. Above all, put prayers among everything. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing. I love you guys. Subscribe like this. Until next time, bye.